Welcome back to Jack Chaucer Storyteller. We've got Nikki White, Polar Extremes, Chapter 11, called Tables Turn from Thomas's point of view. This is January 9th, 2020, the day after they arrived in Antarctica. Again, this is at McMurdo Station. They let me walk around on my own down here, even to the outhouse a few hundred yards away from the main dorm buildings. I had forgotten what it was like to take a private shit. Peaceful. Wicked cold, but peaceful. I'd take that trade any day. The old man Willem was gone from his bunk across from me when I woke up at 6:30. Tired or not, it was hard to sleep with the sun always out. Willem had told me the galley was in building 155, so I headed for breakfast. I hadn't seen Roy since the night before, so I guess they finally had called him off me. Apparently not grabbing the gun and smoking Willem and Nicky had earned me some good behavior perks. I walked through the cafeteria line like a zombie and loaded my tray with some decent looking non prison food. Then I went into an area with some round tables and hardly anybody sitting at them. But of course, Nicky had to be there. She was alone, drinking coffee and reading a newspaper. It didn't take her long to lock eyes with me. When I started to walk toward a different table, she waved me toward hers. Fuck it. I was surprised, but I walked over. "You're here alone?" she asked as I set my tray down across from her. "Obviously. Haven't seen Willem or Roy so far this morning." "Sit here, I guess," she said. So I did. She just watched me as I tore into my breakfast, which was pretty fucking good. "This can't be real," she said, nervously tugging at her hair, which was regular light brown, not half blue like she used to have it. I shrugged and kept eating. "You and me, sitting at the same table in a cafeteria in Antarctica?" she continued. I nodded, very fucked up. "Where did all your hatred for me go?" she asked. I stopped to think for a second. "I still hate you, but maybe not enough to kill you," I said. "You caught me on a good day, I guess." "You shot me. Called me the most annoying person on the fucking planet. Even called me a unicunt." She kept staring at me while I ate, making me feel guilty and shit. I can't lie. Part of me thought she was pretty hot. I was enjoying my partial freedom and this new adventure in a strange, icy land. I pushed myself to be the bigger person. "I'm sorry I shot you," I said, looking her right in the eyes. "How's that?" Her jaw hit her coffee cup, and I had to smile. Blindsided her with that one. "You apologized?" I nodded and ate my toast with grape jelly. This is what happens on the bottom of the world. This is what happens on the bottom of the world. Everything gets turned upside down and inside out, she asked herself. Or maybe it's jet lag. That has to be it. You're tired and don't realize what you're saying. "Why do you have to make it so difficult?" I asked. "I said I'm sorry. I meant it. I'm wide awake." Then she sort of smiled. "We are in hell, and it has frozen over," she cracked. "You're still pretty fucking annoying," I pointed out. She nodded. "Yeah, I know. I guess Antarctica can't cure everything. But this right here is pretty amazing. I mean, we've come a long way from the cafeteria at Middlebrook High School. They expelled me and I never went back, inside the school anyway," I said, remembering the night I shot her and Adam outside the school. They definitely deserved it for fucking everything up. But that was also a wicked long time ago. "Never go back," she said. "Only forward for you now." "Don't get preachy," I said. "Fine." We didn't say much for a while as I finished up breakfast. "I can't believe I have to share a room with Peter's mother," she finally said. "She snores and barely speaks any English, but she can say just enough to be a wise ass and fake apologize for pushing me overboard." "I'm not sure Willem even sleeps," I said. "Seemed like he was gone all night. Then again, it's fucking hard to sleep when the sun is always out." "That should change in a few hours. Snowstorm's coming in," she said, pointing to the newspaper on the table. "I guess it's unusual. They don't get much snow here in the summer. It must pile up dozens of feet in the winter." She shivered and zipped up her hoodie. Then she looked at me again. "Can I ask you a question?" I nodded. "How did you punch out that shark?" I smiled. It was badass. "No idea," I said. "My instincts just took over and I popped him pretty good. I'm just glad I aimed where I did and he didn't take my fucking hand off or circle back around and bite my fucking leg off. I didn't want to get eaten. That's what it came down to." "I totally froze when I saw it," she said, shivering again. "And then I saw the other one. I just figured that was it. I'm dead." "But you're not. Thanks to you," she said. "Don't get sappy on me now." "Don't worry, I won't. But what made you feel more powerful, shooting me and Adam that night, or saving me, us, from the shark?" I shrugged and thought about it. Both made me feel powerful, I guess. But I'm glad, that in the end I didn't kill nobody that night or the next day. She squinted at me like she was studying some alien creature. I like this new Thomas, she said. Tonight might be the best night of sleep in years, even with the sun out. Someone cleared his throat. We both turned and saw Willem standing nearby, listening to our conversation. He smiled. Ah, but can you stay awake and not go insane when you don't see the sun for 6 months? The old man asked us. That's the real challenge. We'll be back with Chapter 12, Yellow Ice, from Nikki's point of view.